Lamplight flickers on a cracked oak desk. Clock ticks like a hammer in my chest. City's drunk on neon and cheap romance. I'm wide awake in a losing man's stand. Tie pulled loose, sleeves rolled tight, blueprints bleeding, graphite lines tonight. Asphalt slow from a cigarette glow. Plans in the dark, nobody will know. Window glass splits my face in two. One wants power, one wants truth. I'm down dirt with steady hands. Whisper prayer over ruthless plans. Cross on my neck, gun in the drawer. I don't ask heaven what for. No spotlight, just sweat and steel. Faith that burns but doesn't kneel. I build my name when the lights go out. Brick by brick through fear and doubt. Every scar's a sacred sign. Every sin redesigned. Discipline's the only creed I keep. I sow in the dark what the dawn will reap. She lit a fire in my veins. The reckless drive, the hunger pains. Said ambition tastes like sin. Sweet at first, then cuts within. I chose the grind over her touch. Chose the war that cost too much. Heard her heels fade down the hall like judgment echo off a chapel wall. Wash my hands in a rusted sink. Watch black water circle the brink. Prim mirror don't lie, it knows my weight. Knows every gamble I calibrate. If I'm damned, I'll stand upright. Hold my shadow, claim my fight. Final applause, just bone and will. Cold wind blowing through the seal. I build foundations deep and tight. Carved from failure, forged at night. Ash to ash, I draw my line. Pain turned into pure design. If grace comes slow, I'll still stand tall. If it never comes, I built it all. Concrete sweating under streetlight glow. Taxi horns in the after show. Everybody loud, chest pushed out. Selling fear, dressed up as clout. I step through smoke from a sewer grate. Boot heels keeping time, steady pace. Billboard saints with plastic smiles, preaching hunger rain, designer trials. My coat cuts clean through neon rain. I don't chase, I calculate gain. Every footfall hits like a drum, measured, pressured, never numb. Cross on my neck, cold on skin, reminds me what I've been. I've spilled some blood, not all of it mine. Learned to draw a thinner line. I don't fight for space, I bend it slow. Let the current feel my flow. Noise gets loud, but I stay small. Stillness makes the giants fall. Step by step, breath by breath, I make peace with love and death. Class ain't loud, it don't invade. It shifts the room by how it's made. She once said I walk like war, like I've seen what streets are for. Said my silence feels like flame, burns without a need for name. I kissed her heart beneath train tracks, tasted whiskey, truth and cracks. But love that wild don't stay contained, it wants chaos, unrestrained. I watched her fade in rearview glass, city lights on broken past. Didn't chase, I let it bleed. Some wounds teach what hearts need. I stopped beneath the red light glow, closed my eyes, let anger go. Whispered low, not for show, Lord, keep my shadow under control. You're alone in that concrete gym. Fluorescent lights burn cold and dim. Barbell bands like a loaded sin. Steel on steel, you grind again. Sweat drips down to a rubber floor. No crowd left, no open door. Knuckles split, a thin red line. Blood and chalk in a sacred bind. Mirror crack down the middle seam. Shows what you are and what you've been. Every rep like a quiet prayer. God don't answer, but he's there. You done wrong, yeah, you know that well. Built your heaven out of pieces of hell. Cross on a chain against your chest. You don't wear it clean, you wear it pressed. You don't break, you reinforce. Turn regret into driving force. Scar by scar, you redraw the line. Pain refined into design. No cheap grace, no easy start. You rebuild your ribs and heart. Strength ain't loud, it's earned in the dark. Hammer and flame leave their mark. Midnight hum, city outside going numb. Contract paper spread out flat. You read each clause like combat. They call it luck when you advance. Never saw you take that stance. Tore old habits from the bone. Buried weakness on your own. You burned old letters in a tin can flame. Watch love and ego spell your name. Ash rose up like desert wind. You let that old man die within. You wash your hands in a rusted sink. Watch black water swirl and think. Every sin you chose to face built the spine you now embrace. You've done, you stare it down till fear is gone. Brick by brick, bruise by bruise, you built the man they can't abuse. No halo bright, no choir above, just discipline instead of love. You stand taller not because you're pure, but you endured what you were. When they whisper he got lucky, yet them talk. They never heard the anvil knock. Steel don't shine from being spared. It shines 'cause it was sealed.
Champagne popping like hollow guns, crystal laughs from silver tongues, gold light dripping off the walls, deals getting made in bathroom stalls. I stand there in a tailor light, half a saint, half alibi. A perfume cuts like a razor line, sweeter sin and twice as blind. Handshake firm but palms feel cold, every smile already sold. Neon halos, plastic crowns, kings for a night in rented gowns. Cross on my chest, heavy as lead, whispers of scripture my mother said. You don't know blood, every room. Tonight I felt that truth bloom. So I paid my tab, I tipped the flame, walked out quiet, no blame, no name. Didn't slam doors, didn't defend. Some exits cut deeper than revenge. Ash on my sleeve, smoke in my hair. Freedom tastes like colder air when you leave before you fall. That's how a man stands tall. Caught my wrist near the marble stairs. You'll regret disappearing, yeah. Lipstick stained my collarbone like a vow carved into stone. I saw myself in a mirrored wall, devil grinning behind it all. Power sweet when the room bows down, but it rots the spine beneath the crown. I took a hand and let it go, watched desire turn to shadow. Outside rain baptized the street, washed the glitter from my feet. I held my breath under that sky, let the old man in me die. No gun drawn, no bridge burned, just a lesson finally learned. Final paid my dues in smoking lies, buried pride under midnight skies. Didn't curse, didn't crawl, sometimes leaving says it all. Rain on my face like colder rains, washing dirt from hands of mine. If I lose their cheers tonight, I keep my soul in morning light. No statues raised, no anthem played, just footprints fading in the rain. And when they ask where I have gone, tell them I chose what I become. Smoke hangs thick in a backroom bar, neon bleeding through a cracked glass jar. Laughed aloud, too proud, too fast, cheap cologne and a shady past. He sits where the light falls thin, amber whiskey, slow spin, slow grin. Candle flame cuts half his face, half in shadow, half in gray. His boot heel taps but never shakes. He hears the lies between handshakes. In a room full of hungry mouths, he don't say north, he just feels south. Gold chain resting on his chest, small steel cross beneath his vest. He's learned aloud, confess their fear. The quiet ones control the air. He don't raise his voice to win, he lets the silence pull them in. Breath by breath he slows the room, like judgment walking in too soon. Ash falls soft from a cigarette glow. Truth moves slow, but it shows. The man who masters what he feels owns the table, owns the deal.
across the table, a silver tongue, talking big about deals he's done. Sweat beats foaming near his ear, glass in hand but drowning in fear. He sees the twitch in a trembling hand, sees the cracks in a promised plan. When money's named, the breathing shifts, eyes drop down like sinking ships. The mirror behind the bar reflects two kinds of men, regrets and debts. He lifts his glass, just one small sip, like ceiling fade with silent lips. Sin enough to know the cost, knows what's gained and what gets lost. He bows his head, not for show, just a quiet prayer nobody knows. He don't shout when the stakes get high, he lets weak men testify. Still as stone, eyes like flame, he never plays, he frames the game. Candle burns down to the wire, smoke and shadow, flesh and fire. The man who conquers his own breath can deal in life, can deal in death. No halo bright, no angel sing, just discipline in everything. And when he stands, the room feels small. Silence was the sharpest call.